Welcome to Smut and Sensibility,
a podcast for romance readers and romance writers.
By romance readers and writers.
We are Amber,
Aly,
and Marie,
a group of learned ladies who love talking about the romance genre.
In this podcast, we will talk about our favorite books, writing craft, and how we make room for a creative life in real time.
So buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of Smut and Sensibility. Today, our episode topic is the 5 items on our writing desk. I'm Amber. I'm a full-time corporate attorney and romance reader and writer by night, and recently discovered rage gardening and still a slut for fireplaces and waterfalls.
I'm Aly. I'm a full-time doctor, part-time writer, and part-time history student at Oxford University.
And I'm Marie. I'm a writer who puts the hopeless and hopeless romantic. I detangle data by day and spend entirely too many waking moments working on my other tangled plots, or generally encouraging sin and shameless debauchery.
We love it.
First and foremost, we are readers and connoisseurs of the genre, and we just want to geek out with our best friends and you about the books we're reading and what we loved about them. So, who wants to start?
I will start because I haven't read a book.
And that's okay. There's going to be some times where you aren't
But
going to read that.
I have been reading snippets of a work in progress that my aforementioned writing friend on the internet is working on. And you guys,
It's so good.
it's so good.
love
And I
that.
want you all to read it.
I can't really tell us
I
anything.
don't want to give away, like I can't,
Yep.
but I know it's a historical, like if I had to make an Instagram, like tropes pointing at the story thing, he falls first, the most Gomez coded, devoted wife guy. Just the way that she writes, the way this man desires this woman, I'm just like, I need to lay down in the road and have several trucks drive over me. I cannot handle this. I need to jump into an active volcano. Like she'll send me these little like screenshots of here's what I've been working on, and it's literally just like a violin quartet at a wedding, and you just want to
so
roll
good.
around on the floor.
You're just so moved. You
It's
don't
so
even know what
good.
to do.
So I can't tell you who it is or what it's about or what's happening, but I'm
Down the
literally just
road,
like,
when things develop more,
yes,
you'll be able to tell. So
That's what I've been reading.
Marie.
I love that,
That's not a
though.
real book. It doesn't exist, but it exists
okay.
in my
It
heart.
does.
No, but you're reading and you're enjoying, and you're
Yes.
and it's in the genre, and you're excited. So that's okay.
And it's a good reminder that you don't have to write in isolation. You can find other people that want to hear you scream about your idiots and the situations
right.
they are in.
That's right.
Bring them to the table. We want more idiots.
We do. More
More
idiots.
idiots.
More morons.
Okay. I just finished Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt.
Oh,
And I listened to this, again, audio. I just am in a phase of life where most of my reading is done audio, not because I don't enjoy sitting down and reading, but I can clean while listening. I can fold laundry. I can be driving. I'm really loving the different formats. But anyway, so the narrators were Megan Wicks and Connor Chris. But I have a confession in my mind for my main character, Aiden. I hear Connor Chris. So he's kind of like my dream cast of
Ooh.
my character. So kind of saying that out loud, maybe someday manifesting. But so that's always really fun when I see him as a narrator. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. A girl's got a dream, right? We got to have goals.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah. So anyways, here's on to the goods. So the summary: Ren and Ellis, who are high school sweethearts, they fell in love and had their son, Sam, early. And this is a second chance romance. And I do have to confess that second chance romances aren't always my favorite, but I love Tara DeWitt. So it was one of those like auto that like she's never let me down and I want to be supportive. And she didn't disappoint. So Ellis is a firefighter, Ren is a baker. They love each other, but like just go through some hard things in life and growing apart. And she asks for a divorce and he kind of gives in too easily, willingly. So the start of the book is he jumps to now their son is going off to college. They're going to be empty nesters. And he discovers that he is still madly in love with his ex-wife. I won't tell you how because that's spoilers, but he convinces her to go on a road trip with him to drop their son off at college. And then he's hoping to like rekindle the romance. So it was so great. It just had such love and longing from both characters. So it kind of hurt, but in the best way. Does that make sense? What I read from it was an overarching feeling of hope throughout. And it's hard to hope sometimes when it seems so dark and that there's no chance. But there was still this line of hope throughout for both of them. So it just It just touched me. And it was just so heartfelt and had realistic issues that come up in relationship and marriages that aren't always pretty, right? Like there's ups and downs and it isn't always easy. So it was very honest and relatable and I highly recommend. So it was a good one.
I love that. That sounds great. I also love that like those characters are not 20, 25, you
Yeah.
know? That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, they were definitely later in life because they had, I forget how, I think they're in their mid 30s, early 40s. Do you remember Allie? But like Sam is 18 and they had Sam young, so maybe at least 36. I'll
Yeah,
have
I
to
like that.
reference that, but yeah, me too.
Yeah, second chance can be real iffy
Yeah, it's just hit or miss for me
as a
sometimes.
trope for me as
So
well.
True.
Yeah.
Very
it's not
true.
one that when I see I'm like, "Oh, yes," it's always like,
Hmm.
"Ooh." But again, since it was Tara, I was like, "Good.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
sounds like
dive
it's
in."
really handled with a lot of like love and care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Allie.
Mine is, first of all, it's catabasis. Okay. But this is not a romance. Okay. I just want to be super
Okay.
clear. I just want to be super clear about this. This is not a romance. However, the two characters, spoiler, have a happy ending. And so I think that there is a nice love story. And I just like was obsessed with this book. If you've ever been to grad school, like you need to read this because it is so funny. Like it's like darkly funny. There's a lot of satire. Like hell is a campus. Loved how she did her concept of hell sort of pulled from different cultures, discussion of deities of hell. And there's a lot of references to T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, and then obviously like Dante and the different circles of hell. And it's definitely dark academia themes. Takes place in Cambridge, England, and there is like there's magic, but it's analytical magic. So Marie, kind of similar to how your fantasy is, it's like rooted in realism. That's what this is, and that's what I really like. But I I really, if you have not been to grad school, like you have to read this. There's such a discussion of what you'll do to be good in the eyes of like the people that you put on pedestals that maybe don't deserve to be put on pedestals. And the disappointment that you feel when the people that are in charge of your education, but also the people that you idolize and look to for mentorship fall short significantly. And I thought it was excellent. This book got me from like the first sentence. And can I read the first sentence?
Oh my gosh, please do. And look at
Okay.
those
Also, this is
beautiful.
I read the ebook, but I needed like the book trophy because this is like the special edition. It's like the sprayed edges. It says,
She's
this is like
gorgeous.
this is someone from hell, and it says hell is other people. And I fucking loved that. So
Give us the first line.
the first line, this is how it's done, everyone. Cambridge, Michaelmas term, October. The wind bit, the sun hid, and on the first day of class, when she ought to have been lecturing undergraduates about the dangers of using the Cartesian severance spell to revise without pee breaks, Alice Law set out to rescue her advisor's soul from the 8 courts of hell. Like that's how it's done.
Incredible.
Like that
Incredible.
tells you that you are just like dropped in right there. And so this was great. If you do like romance, I think that there is a satisfying love story in here. It does not follow all of the beats, but it's very good. And so
Love
I
this.
think maybe some of the flack this is getting is that I think it was advertised by some people, I don't know who, as romantasy, and it's not that, but I loved it. It was very good. So
I
that's
keep hearing such good things about that, and then I hear
Mhm.
such conflicting things about it. So that's one I want to check out. I don't know if I can read it while I'm working on something. So maybe that will be my November 2nd reading reward. That's my treat. Yeah, I
Do you want
need
me
to
to bring
like
it to you?
read.
I can bring, like, I don't know if you want
No,
to
you don't have to.
do you want to do ebook or do you want to read this pretty copy?
I'll probably do ebook.
Okay.
I
And
was like, but I
and
have this
yeah.
pretty copy you can
Well,
hold in your
you
hands
should
and
have
adore
that.
her.
Yeah,
Pretty.
put your pretty copy somewhere. I
Yeah.
actually just
Where he's like,
recently
I'm
did
gonna
like
spill
a
tea on it and do something, and then I'm gonna feel
I
really
just recently
bad.
did like a buyback of a whole bunch of things that I had,
Oh, cool.
and I got like $100 of store credit at Powell's, so I can go.
Amazing.
I love it. They do book buyback. You just gotta stand in line a little bit, and they buy your books,
It's
and
worth
anything
it.
they don't buy, they have reading organizations they donate to.
I love
So
this.
it's
That's
so
awesome.
handy.
That's
Shout out to
awesome.
Powell's, real
Shout
one.
out Powell's.
We love Powell's. When you guys come visit, we'll go to
Yes.
Powell's.
I can't
It's
wait.
like
Yes, please.
it's a city block of books
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
I need it.
with
We need
like
all
3
day,
floors.
you know,
Yeah.
for
Oh,
anything else.
yeah. We'll get
Besides
pizza
lunch
right
and
next
eating
door.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All
We'll
of
get
the
shave
above.
ice at the other place right next door. And then we'll
That
wander
sounds
around Powell's.
Oh my god, that sounds perfect. When are we doing this? Sign me up.
I don't,
I mean, I feel like
you
we just need
gotta.
to do a special podcast edition of like a drop a episode of like us just meandering around the
Oh
mess
my
we can
god,
get into.
yes.
And
I
there's
love that
multiple
so
locations.
much.
I'm talking about the like the one in downtown Portland is like the one big one. We love a good bookstore. I mean, I love a small independent bookstore.
All right, guys, what's
All right.
next? Craft Corner.
Craft
Welcome
corner.
back to the Craft Corner.
I love it. Oh, we're singing again.
Damn it. Again, I just need to give in. I just need to give in and
I think you
don't worry
do.
about it. I do.
We need a little jingle.
We do. Hopefully Katie's working on it.
Oh, I love that. So, this episode, and the reason that you clicked is because we're talking about some of our writerly essentials and some things that we have on our desks. We're going to limit it to 5 things, and we're going to have in the show notes links to what we have or similar. If you're interested or if you have questions, you can just let us know. Amber, start us
Okay.
off.
I'm going to start in the hot seat. So first isn't like as well, it's exciting because it's like the base of what we do. It's Scrivener. So I use Scrivener to write my manuscript. I still use Word docs and PDFs and other things for supplemental documents, but I really like Scrivener, having it in all one place. I would say it is medium intuitive, right? There is so much you can do in Scrivener, and that can be really intimidating. So I even want to admit here, I don't know how to use all the functionalities yet. However, I think for the basics to get writing in it, it is very easy to watch one of their brief intro videos, start a new project, start a new document, and go. So I know that new software can be very overwhelming or make people hesitate, but I do want to say that I think Scrivener, you don't need to know everything about it to be successful and or use it. And we aren't sponsored by Scrivener. I just really like it. And I like their stance on AI. They're not going to use any of your information. They won't release any of it to train any other AI, and it's protected, at least as of the time of this recording. So that was a big one for me as I've continued to use Scrivener. I really love them for that. And I think you guys would agree it's one of the popular ones people use. Not everybody uses it, but Scrivener is pretty well known in the writing world for being a
I
writing
would say
software.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I have my Scrivener. I have it open. What's next? I really am a beverage queen. Right now, they're not the cutest of mugs, but I have coffee and water. But when I write there, I love tea. Aly and Marie know this. Aly also is another tea lover. But there's something almost ritualistic for me that I will make a hot cup of tea, pick the tea I want, maybe add the honey or the milk to kind of just get me in this mindful set of like, I'm going to write. I've almost like trained myself. I really like it. And my favorite tea is Bird and Blend. They're out of London. I think they have more stores, but I think the first shop was in London. So it was a little pricier for us in the US, but they do ship here. And I just love it. So I'll have a beverage just to kind of get my mindset. So that's number 2. Whatever tickles your fancy, but staying hydrated, a reason to stay in the seat. Because if you sit down and then you're thirsty or hungry, you're going to get up and go. Number 3, I alternate between if I'm going to listen to music on headphones, or a lot of times I will have on YouTube. You can just search ambience for whatever you want. Sometimes I have like French cafe, and I'll have a window up that has like little music, and it looks like you're in France, in Paris, and there's like leaves falling, or in the winter. So I kind of change what season I'm in or what mood, or if I kind of wish it was a rainy day, because sometimes that makes me feel productive. I'll do like cozy rainy library, and like that will be up. So that's kind of a weird one, but I really like it. For some reason, having some ambience in the background really kind of like sets me up when I want to do like a big writing session. Do you guys? Well, you're going next, so I'm not going to ask you questions. Okay, number 4. Lately, the craft book I have real near is The Emotional Thesaurus by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi, I think is how you pronounce it. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But sometimes you can just look up by a term, and it kind of gives all different examples of like physical signs, emotional, internal sensations. So I'm not having as many TK come back. And I'm not just like, he clenched his fists, right? There's just some terms that we naturally use a lot, and you want to add variety. So I keep going. If I have this book kind of nearby, I can still insert something, but keep going. So that's been really helpful lately. It could change, but right now she's nearby. And lastly, I just purchased some new notebook and gel pens. am just living my inner
Gorgeous.
2000s 8th grade life. When I take notes to then reference in the stage of life I'm in, I have a 3-year-old and we've been having some issues sleeping. So I'm trying to like get him down and hanging out with him. But having my laptop doesn't work because if we're parallel relaxing, he wants to be about the laptop. But if I have just pen and paper, he'll let me do that. So that's helping me kind of get more personal time in. But then I have fun notes and paper nearby to reference. So I don't always do handwritten notes. A lot of times I'll do notes on my phone, or a lot of time mostly it's digital, but I kind of went old school analog in the last couple of weeks and I'm really liking it. I
I
also
love
didn't
that.
need to buy the pretty stuff, but like
Well, you
a little
did.
serotonin never hurt.
You did. You
It's
needed to buy it.
essential.
Yeah, a little
As a
pleasure.
stationery fan, I totally get it.
Yeah. You needed to.
I just needed to.
Absolutely.
So that's me and my 5 items right now.
I love it.
Aly, what do you got? Give us some
Okay.
insight.
So, one of my favorite things that I use, and I use this not just for writing, but I use it also for like productivity, is the time timer. That's what it's called. I like this one because it doesn't make a ticking noise, but you can set your timer, and I use this for like Pomodoro sessions and stuff like that. So, I love this. This I use very often. I'm going to make sure that I don't set off the alarm. Big fan, just battery operated. The other thing that is probably my biggest desk upgrade that I ever got, and I got it last year, was a mug warmer for my desk. My office is upstairs, and I love a mug of tea. And it just gets cold because I'll be sitting here and noodling on stuff or writing, and it's just really nice to be able to have that warm tea. But that's been like the biggest, I think, comfort addition to my desk that I've ever done. And currently, the tea that I'm drinking is the brand Magic Hour, and it's the pumpkin spice breakfast cake. My third item is similar to Amber. I've also been very much like into analog lately. I use digital for having stuff in one place, kind of storing, but I really enjoy having a physical planner. And when I'm thinking, I need to write things out, whether that's like a list or especially when I'm brainstorming, writing things out by hand just really help me. So this is my work in progress notebook, and I made this, if you can see it, I made this collage in Canva because graphic design is my
Man,
passion. So this is specifically a Hobonichi graph notebook. So Hobonichi Hive Raise Up, I'm obsessed with this. I also have like a Hobonichi cousin planner, and I'm obsessed with the paper. It's really thin. It's the Tomo River paper, but it doesn't bleed. So you can write with everything on it. And I just love how my handwriting looks when I write on both sides of the page. Like it's got that like beautiful crinkle and like crease in there. It's a whole thing. So I have that. And then I also use Scrivener. I agree. I probably use about 15-20% of the known functionality. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I also co-sign the Scrivener. And I got an iPad for my studies that I'm doing, and I've been using it as a second monitor. And so I'm really obsessed with this second monitor stand that I have because I'll pull over my Spotify for this work in progress, or I also love ambiance videos. I really like Crackling Fire or Lakeside Rain, and I'll put that up there. And this iPad stand is magnetic and adjustable, and it comes with like a custom charger that like holds back so you don't have all these like kooky cords hanging out the side. And I have the 13-inch iPad Air. So I really liked this. It was a little bit pricey, but I think it's really sturdy and high quality. And I like to have things like elevated at eye level. So I love that. I also need to use my headphones. So I'm wearing them today. These are the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones. I've never found another pair of over the ear headphones that are as comfortable as these. I have little ears. And so after a while, the AirPods and earbuds just kind of start hurting the canal. So these are really comfortable on the top of my head. They're not too tight. I tried the Apple ones on and I could feel them like digging in, and the Beats ones didn't work for me either, but the Bose Quiet Comfort ones, they're an oldie but a goodie. And that's pretty much it. My other little friend here that I have at my page is, I made him, and this is just a reminder, and it's Oscar the Grouch, and he says, I love trash. And so it's just a reminder that like first draft is the trash draft and you can edit it later. So like if you hate something, just like finish it and move on, and you can fix it later because
I
you got to
love
feed Oscar. He
him.
loves trash. So
And
he
it's
sits
such
like
a
next
good
to my time
reminder.
timer. and just as like a little reminder.
I think I need one.
I can
to
make
my
you one.
screen. I mean, please do.
Trash draft first, edit later. So we can
Yeah,
make
I
one.
love that.
If anybody wants it for the podcast, we'll make a little meme of him. You can have it.
Oh my God. Our unofficial little mascot.
Our mascot.
It's fine. Keep going.
All right, Marie, what's at your desk?
I have basically identical things to you two, and I'll just sort of speed run them, but I want to talk about how I use them and how it helps in my writing process. So I also use Scrivener, and I have been very on the fence about Scrivener in the past. I tend to want to be the kind of person that sits down, opens Word, starts writing. And I have done that in the past, or usually actually it's Google Docs. When I was doing a lot of writing, it was at times in my life where I was a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't at an office, I wasn't writing at work. Kiddos running around at the park, and I can pull my phone up and I can write in Google Docs and I can type out, and then they smooched, the end, XOXO, Gossip Girl, and then whatever. And then when I go home, I can work in the same document. So Google Docs worked for me for a lot of things, but once it gets to about 30,000 words, it's a nightmare. So I have my Scrivener set up. My folders they're kind of like the arcs, which maybe is the same thing. I have to be different. I'm not like other girls. But it's like the arcs, and then each individual document is a chapter. And I do like that Scrivener, like, I think part of my resistance to originally using it is because I wanted to be more of a pantser. I wanted to be more like, I can just sit down and write it. But giving myself permission to be like, you need to set up the structure. You need to have an understanding of why things are paced the way they're paced, how they're coming in at certain points. And yes, I know it doesn't add to your word count, but you will be much happier with yourself later. This is a gift to future you. And that is something that has changed for me, like, as a writer. Probably, I think the first like novel that I wrote would have been I don't know if the NaNoWriMo one in college was the first novel that I wrote, but I definitely have shifted, and I've framed it as I'm setting this up so that future me is going to be like, wow, good job, past me. Thank you for making these all folders. And that includes like going through and really using the synopsis window and the notes window. So I think Scrivener is an awesome tool. Not sponsored, but call us.
We love.
And
I
it has
back
its
mine up to
downfalls as well.
Dropbox too.
Yeah,
Do you use
it has
Dropbox,
its
or how do
pitfalls
you?
as well. What?
How do you back it up? Because I think that's like one of, like, you're probably about to talk about like some of the pitfalls, but I usually like back mine up to Dropbox. Both
Same.
I like convert it. I'll convert it to Word, and then every time I save, it'll just like save the scrivening or whatever it calls the
Oh, that's
file,
cool.
and then I
Mhm.
can use it both like on my iPad and then on my Mac. But I did have to pay extra for the iPad app.
Okay, yeah, I haven't really played around with any of that. Yeah, I don't really know. I just sort of hope for the best. That's not best practice.
Valid.
But yeah, so Scrivener, same. But I'm also curious, maybe, do you guys have yours set up the same way where it's folders for arcs? I've also seen it where folders for chapters and documents for scenes. Do you do it the same way I do it, or how do you have yours set up?
I do it the same way you do it. So I do mine, my folders are like acts. So I do the 4 acts of Romancing the Beat, and then my documents inside, like each single thing is a chapter. I like the fact of like the scene level stuff. And when I first started writing several years ago, I was not writing in order. And so I liked being able to just have sort of like a snippet, and then I could like stitch them all together. That was very attractive for me, but I don't actually write that way anymore.
Right.
But I think that is an attractive feature if you tend to be a little bit more web-based and instead of linear. But all of my chapters are like in a single note file. And so I'll have act 1, and then I'll have like my 13 chapters like in there.
Nice.
And I use the synopsis as well. I like that because I'll put the beats or the summary and all of that stuff.
Yeah. The other thing that's essential in my Scrivener setup is in the notes section, I have a scratch document, or I call it the graveyard, where if I cut something, in the past, when I work in Word or Google Docs, I would usually have 2 docs working simultaneously. One of them is the primary document, and the other one is my kind of scratch document. And I could pull things between, but Scrivener makes it so much easier. I take it and I put it in my graveyard because, like, you never know if there's like Amber, what you were saying about like your emotion document, like sometimes they're having this like really intense conversation, and then you describe an emotion really, really well. And then you're like, ooh, I want that. I'm going to reuse that, but it doesn't work here anymore. Or, Like, there's definitely some scenes in the back half of the book that I had sort of roughly outlined, and now due to pacing, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to use at least one of the scenes I like outlined. So I took that and I put it in the graveyard. She's a necromancer. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Things always
Don't
come
worry about it.
back.
That's
Exactly.
And it's
right.
also like, I know I've said it before, but I think no work is wasted. Like, even if you wrote something and you were like, this is amazing, it doesn't fucking work at all. It can go there, and you can also see, like, if you're someone that gets very discouraged about not making progress, you can see like, hey, maybe this is only encouraging to me, but maybe looking in your garbage can is not like a good, but that's me. But so that's my Scrivener setup, and that's how I kind of use it as part of my writing corner. Also, I'm also a huge tea fan. I love strong black tea. I don't tend to go for a lot of like fruits or blends or ones where like it tastes sweet. I like it. I like a tea that knows who it is. But I
Only
should
you
get a
would
mug
describe your
warmer.
tea that way. I like a
Yes,
tea
you
who
would.
knows who
I
it
like a
is.
tea with
I
a
tend to
strong sense of identity.
brew it very strong.
Not
And I
meek,
think today
here
it's
to
either PG
stay.
Tips or the Tetley British blend. I will sometimes put sugar and milk in it. If given the choice, I would do milk and not sugar. But that's me. That's who I am.
I love that.
I find teas with fruit blends tend to be really hit or miss for me. I don't know why. But I am looking for one that's like, if you have a tea recommendation that is like, we just went apple picking, it's cinnamon, it's black tea, it's like we were just in the forest. Tell me what that tea is, because I want that tea.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I
Delicious.
also write with a notebook. I like is it mnemosine? In my brain I call it
I don't
mnemosyne,
know.
and I know that's wrong. Every listener is going to hit me with a shoe, and they would be perfectly right to do so. Mnemosine it's a Japanese brand. I've used this size notebook since college. I've actually have a couple of my college notebooks in here, but I've always liked the smaller size. I have the slightly larger size for work, and then I have the smaller size. The paper's really good and thick. I have a little Pilot Precise V2. I have them in purple because that is the color. Normally my favorite color is green, but we're feeling purple lately. My handwriting is really, really bad, so I don't do like actual dialogue writing. I don't sit down and go to a coffee shop and like write it out. My handwriting is an affront to God and man. But I do take notes in here. Like, I have notes in here from when I was reading Story Genius. So I will like go through and flag it. And then when it asks a question like, write a scene where blah blah blah, and then I'll be like, okay, here's the highlights. Usually I just write in a lot of bullet points. But sometimes I do a shitty little map. Kind of fun. But I'm not an artist. I don't, my brain doesn't work that way. But yeah, good pen and paper. And then sometimes I'll do a soundscape thing, but usually it's like a lo-fi or one of those Pomodoro lo-fis where it plays music for 25 minutes and then you chill for 5. Although last time I did a Pomodoro like writing session, I just wrote straight through. Like, I have a problem with authority. But yeah, a lot of lo-fi. I can't listen to anything with words. If I do have playlists, I will listen to them separate, but like I can't have words. And then I would say, I don't know if we're on 5 items or 6, but my other essential writing is this packet of gold stars. Because
We love it.
sometimes you just need to give yourself a gold star.
Everyone
You
needs
do
one and deserves it.
sometimes.
And like when you're a former gifted kid that was
Oof.
the only type B personality in a class of incredible ass kissers, affectionate,
True. That was
you
me.
start to learn that you don't deserve praise for things. And sometimes you just have to give yourself the gold stars you feel you deserve. So I've been doing that a lot for myself lately because I really struggle with that. I don't like acknowledgement. I don't like visibility. It's really challenging for me. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do this for myself because sometimes you just deserve a fucking gold star. So
You do, and
that
I'm glad that you're here and you're visible and we see you and we get to talk to you and everybody gets to know how awesome you
I
are.
exist. Well, it also feels like it sounds
Times
so
two.
pretentious of being like, no one should ever perceive me. But
Don't perceive me.
it's
It's
tough.
hard.
And
It's
it's tough
vulnerable.
in general of just like
It
writing
is.
is so it's so vulnerable, and we all know that when we put complicated things in there, we're not condoning it. Actually, can I read you guys a quote real quick? I read this last night. I know
Yes,
this is super off
please.
topic, but it hit me like a
Yes.
brick
Is
because
that
I've
from
been
Story
struggling with this
Genius?
lately.
Is it from Story Genius?
It is.
I can't wait to talk about Story Genius
I
on the
know.
pod.
That'll be our next episode. Stay tuned. It's coming.
Stay
It's
Hence
tuned,
why
it's
we're
coming.
doing
coming
all the
soon
prep for it.
because
Mine's
Yes.
yeah.
upstairs. So pretend
But
I'm holding it too.
this says writers, this is on page 116. Writers often hold themselves back from creating the very protagonists they really want to write about because they're worried that they won't be likable. So here's something that might come as a big relief. Being likable is not the point. Instead, you want a
That's so
protagonist who's
real.
relatable, flawed, and vulnerable. And I was like, I needed that.
Little
I needed
flawed
that.
ball.
Because her example in the book is like the heroine doesn't like dogs.
Yeah, and that's not a
And I was
likable
like,
trait.
That is
that's
right.
so like, thank you for writing that. I don't know. That's my
It's
tangent
such a good
today.
example.
But those
It
are the
is such
5
a good
things on my
example.
writing desk and vaguely how I use them and what my process is.
I love
I love
that.
this. And again,
Yay,
if you
thank you for
guys want
sharing.
any of these things, I think, Aly, we're gonna link them
In the
somewhere.
show
Not that you
notes
need to, but if
somewhere.
something really spoke to you and you're like, "Oh, I want that notebook that
The
Aly
mug
is,
warmer
like,
is
wet
speaking to me.
dreaming about,"
The mug
and you
warmer
don't wanna
is
search it for
probably
yourself, we'll do that work for you. So,
I would say the mug warmer. The mug warmer like made it onto like my January id list earlier this year. Like it
ooh,
is
id list. If it made it to the id list,
it's
it's
good.
pretty high up
We
It
should
makes
do
a
there.
an
big
id list episode.
Oh, that would be fun.
100%. I have
Can
that
we have
on
an id
like
list
the
episode?
we have to. I put it on the like brainstorm ideas thing, but it's id list is on there.
So
Absolutely.
stay tuned. More to come.
Lots to come. Lots to
TK.
come.
All right, I
TK.
think we made it. Well, I think that's it, you guys. On to our happily ever after. What are you looking
Our
for
happy
before we our
endings.
happy endings before we go?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I can start.
Yeah.
I am feeling really good today. Yesterday, I was able to finish Act 1 in the
Oh my
evening,
god.
like after I was done with
Amazing.
everything.
Kudos.
I was like, oh man, like I haven't really like spent a lot of time with like my manuscript with the travel and everything. So I was like, "Ugh, I haven't done it yet. It's kind of late." And I was like, just do it. Just see what happens." And so I wrote like 500 words, which is that's enough for me. I wish that
Mhm.
I could be like a prolific producer, but I'm just not, and I will have like a hangover
500
the
good
next day.
words is nothing
Yeah.
to scoff at for sure.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's still
Kudos.
good. So I did that and I finished act 1 and that's kind of been hanging over my head for a little while. I'm sort of getting into now the first chapter of act 2, but I need to like pause and I was actually pulling in like the beats from Romancing the Beat into the folders so that I could just remind myself of like what I need to be doing in this chapter. And then I kind of need to figure out some plot stuff. I have some
Mm.
general ideas of what I'm doing as far as scenes that I think are funny that I want to do, but I need to get this plot going because I sort of have an end point that I have figured out. So I just need to get the squish in the middle to go. So I'm feeling really happy that I was able to produce that last night and finish that because that felt really good. I'm now into act 2. And yeah, I'm trying to keep on my deadline.
Keep
That's
on
making me
keeping
happy.
on.
And
Nice.
yeah,
Well, kudos to you on I think that's such a huge milestone. Like give yourself a pat on the back.
thank you.
Yeah.
The bike horn could go
Yeah,
here.
give
Would
it
be
the
appropriate.
give yourself the sensual bike horn.
This is the
Oh my
smut
Of
part,
gosh.
acknowledgement.
Marie. I
My
can go.
God.
Mine is
Really
a
not
little.
selling this.
I know. Mine's a little short. I'm really thankful for melatonin. It's not a
It's a good
secret. I've
thing.
been sharing, like, we've just been having a really hard time with bedtime and adjusting. And per advice, plus these lovely ladies, we tried it and we were really successful. So I am just like feeling a sense of relief and normalcy, hopefully on the
Yes.
horizon, and then to get some time back because typically I'm more creative sometimes at
Mhm.
the end of the day because my day starts early and we're a toddler running around and being solo right now, I just don't get that morning time. And then we hop into corporate. So, but yeah, melatonin for the shout out. That's what I'm
I
thankful
love
for.
that for you.
Happy endings.
I am so delighted for you. I remember that. Yep. That's
Just,
rough.
it's rough.
It's rough.
It's rough out there.
It's rough.
And it
It's rough
feels
out there in the
rough.
streets.
I almost was
It's
in a
rough,
state
and
of
then just night after night after
yes.
night of
And I
like
was
thinking
almost
ahead. Oh my God, yeah.
I was almost in a state of shock when I came out of the bedroom. Like, did that just happen? Am I hallucinating? Is this like a normal bedtime? Are you asleep? I don't know what to do with myself. I have a moment to breathe and decompress. So, thank you for cheering me on as I have not really related, but kind of. We're gonna get more creativity coming this
Yeah.
way.
Hey, it's all part of the process. I think if that's what this whole podcast is about balancing creative life with everything else, you know. Would that we could sit in a cabin and have our mom do our laundry and just be creative forever and ever.
The
Not
dream.
calling anyone out here, but
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, we got to
So
do all
Marie,
the other shit too.
what are you
I
thankful for?
am But
What are you thankful for besides
I
that dream of your mom doing all your laundry forever and ever?
no, I'm making fun of Thoreau, but I am just like I'm excited to get back into writing. I feel like I'm gonna be smoothing out the last edges whenever I'm at this point in the writing process where I write a little bit and then I stop to backtrack. What it feels like in my brain is if you've ever bought like a big rug for your living room and you have to roll out a bump but like push it all the way down to the end and then like square it up against the hardwood or whatever, that's the part that I feel like I'm in, where I'm like pushing out the roll, like this plot thing changed and so therefore it's all rolling this direction, and then I'm aligning it, and I just can't wait to just like roll around on the rug for a while. Just actually write, just get back into like getting them on the road. And I've been taking notes when I bring stuff up in class, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting through this necessary detangling part and getting back into enjoying my silky smooth plot tresses, as it were.
I thank you everyone again for joining us on another episode here at Smut and Sensibility. This episode was a little bit different, where we were talking about all of the tools that make it easier for us to get words on the page. And it was kind of a fun thing to talk about. I know for me personally, I love knowing what other people are reading as far as craft books. I love to know like what tools they're using, what software they're using. I'm a little bit of a nosy bitch. So it's just really fun to kind of compare and contrast. So, this episode is also kind of fun as we're approaching the holiday season, because if you do have a writer in your life, there are some items on this list that might be a fun gift for them. And everything is linked down below in the show notes. We will always specify when things are an affiliate link. I did want to say thank you so much to everyone who is sharing about our podcast and liking and subscribing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And to those couple of people that have given us a 5-star review already, thank you so, so much. And if you have not yet, we would really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star review. It does help us grow our podcast and help us find more book lovers and writers to grow our community. We are also on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Smut and Sensibility Pod. And we will have all of our info with our socials, both podcast and personal socials for all of us, down in the links below. I will say I did just join TikTok, which is a little bit terrifying, but I'm there. And if anybody is interested in joining Smut University, which is our writing group, how we met and ultimately how the podcast started, we do have a link to a Google interest form down below as well. And that will get you in touch with Sam Cheetah. And that is also a really great gift idea. If you have somebody in your life that has always wanted to start a novel, giving them the gift of community and writing craft, education, and connection is a very excellent, unique gift. So all of that info is down below. We have a couple of really exciting author interviews coming up, and a really fun craft talk with one of our favorite craft books. So we hope to see you guys soon. And thank you so much again for joining us. Stay smutty and go forth in pursuit of your happily ever after. Bye.